There was no virus on no damn cruise, and I can prove it to you in 3 minutes.
You said you literally left this realm. You literally went to another.
And I still do.
The alien was alive in this bed right here.
Are you suggesting that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive?
I made a big mistake exposing this side of TikTok. Let's get into it.
Look at this water. New Orleans is gonna be done for.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the next 10 to 20 years. This is crazy. I don't even want to go close to it.
Where's your makeup artist? Yeah, no, I mean, I wanted him to keep shooting, you know, and I waited till...
He's gonna say it, look, he says it right here, look.
The moment you let go of my back, you're, oh my God, what happened to my face? It's like a horror movie. You're in a 5-round fight. That was a good one. Right, see, I look like I'm part of APAC.
Look! No, he's getting wiped off. He's getting wiped off the earth. He's getting wiped off the earth. You see how they didn't even respond? Oh, he knows. Oh, he knows. He knows. He knows.
I gotta tell you that I had a real frightening dream last night. I dreamed that I woke up and I looked at the sun and it was like a fourth of the size of the earth. That's how big it was. And you know what? I asked you. I said, Kurt, is that the sun? Because it almost looked like the moon, but it was bigger than you've ever seen the moon or the sun or anything before. And he said, yeah, that's the sun. We're in trouble. Oh, man. I'm trying to figure out what the rest of the dream was. Anyway, it's basically the end.
This kind lady just revealed what some people are calling Cookiegate, which is Dollar Tree is selling Girl Scout cookies. And if this revelation knocks your socks off, just wait. I have something that I want to share with you as a dad to 3 Girl Scouts.
For all the idiots out there that say that the Dollar Tree and Girl Scout cookies don't taste the same, let me tell you, this is coming from a mom who is deep in the trenches of selling Girl Scout cookies. I'm going to show you something about these boxes. Here is a Girl Scout box of Thin Mints, and here is a knockoff from the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree, manufactured by Inner Bake Foods. Girl Scout, Inner Bake Foods. The address on where they're manufactured, identical. The ingredients, exactly the same. These 2 boxes of cookies are made in the exact same facility. One is $1.25, one is $6. Now, I'm not saying don't support your old Girl Scouts, because this time of year, buy Girl Scout cookies. But the whole rest of the year, go to the Dollar Tree.
Here's the thing that surprised me the most about Girl Scout cookies. These things cost $6 a box. Do you know how much the troop gets per box? Less than $1. It's like 80-something cents. So to be perfectly honest with you, if you really want to save money and support your local troop, donate money to them. When you see their cookie booth, just drop a couple bucks into the donation jar. And if they don't have a donation jar, just ask them if you could donate money to them. And then go buy your cookies guilt-free from Dollar Tree. So you could go to Dollar Tree, spend, say, $2 on a box, take the extra $4 and just give it to the troop. They will be much better off. Do me a favor, if this is the first you've ever heard of this, send it around. Make sure other people know. The best thing you could do is just give them a couple bucks, help them on their programs. They do a lot of great work. It's very empowering. I think the program's great. I just think the cookie sales is just a little ridiculous.
The record. No, they're not as bad as the Boy Scouts. I remember I brought this up a while back, and you guys, some people roasted me over here saying, you know, how much help it is. I was like, I went to a bag of popcorn was like $20. All right. But now that I know this, it's better to just, you know, give them $5 and put it in their jar, or just give the mom or the kid $5. Like, you know, here, I don't need no cookies. I'm on a diet or something, but here's $5. You know what I mean? That'll probably go a lot further than giving a $20 for a bag of popcorn, and the Boy Scouts only get 80 cents of that, and the rest goes to who knows who, right?
Companies really, really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish.
The reason they're all sick on this cruise is probably because rats are in the HVAC system and they're fucking inhaling rat shit.
How did the rats even get on? That means the rats got on when they were docked up? We did a cruise with the Nelk, and I'll never do that shit again.
Under 50, almost everybody gets their news from online media. Above 50, most of the people, not everybody, but most of the people get their news from television. So if you're getting your news from television, you're getting brainwashed. It's nonstop propaganda, and you have no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. In fact, you know the opposite of what's true. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I can give a million examples. I'll give a quick one. So they'll say like, oh, Israel's the victim, right? And you're like, but wait, their territory is growing.
It took me a while to get used to autopsies, because now you're seeing a body like you've never seen it before. And when you first get
sliced
there,
up,
it's sliced up. It stinks to high heaven in that place. And I'll never forget the sound. You know, these pruning shears that you cut a tree with, you know, that's how they cut your ribs over. You know, that's how they cut.
Can't do it.
Yeah, they here and here, then they get a scalpel just to cut the muscle and the tendon up here, and they take out the whole palate. So it's one big piece right there. And now it's exposed to what we call the canoe. You know, everything's exposed. You see all your parts, everything, all your organs in there. And you got to get past that stench, and the smell is.
Could you, the moment you walk into a house, would you be able to smell a dead body just from opening the door? Is there a certain smell?
It depends how long the dead body is.
Let's say 3 days.
It's still there's so many environmental things you have to. You get a piece of steak, raw steak that you just bought at the market, and you put it right there on your table. How long will it be out there before you think it'll smell?
Mm.
Now, get that same piece of meat during the summer and put it in a garbage pail. Put it outside, and you lift up that thing, and the thing stinks to high heaven. Leave it out there a little longer, and there'll be all kinds of maggots all over it. That's the way the human body is.
I'm no big conspiracy theorist, but Brantley County, Georgia, on Saturday morning, we offered this truck that holds 5,000 gallons. This is a septic tank truck. Friday night, we spent all night cleaning it out, making sure it was sanitary so their pumps wouldn't get clogged if we had to fill up fire trucks. We bought all the fittings to fill up fire trucks. Went down there, went to 10 different places, minimal, probably more. Returned the right way, said the command center did not want it. We could have put water in the ditches. I mean, this was before it ever crossed 32. And 32 was dry as a bone. We could have put the water in the ditches. We could have done a lot of things. There's another guy, local guy, he took a tanker to Brantley County with a semi. He holds 10,000 gallons. He sat for 2 days and just finally come home. Now, we were told we could see it, but we can't just sit there for 2 days waiting. So, but we were told we were not needed. They didn't need water.
NASA. Kind of like all these wildfires that happen, it's kind of like they want it to happen, right? Like the LA fires, the water, they didn't, there's no water in the fire hydrants, right? Like, it's like these things happen and they're planned to happen.
Loves to limit the information they give us, and they don't even know how many planets are in our solar system. They tell us 9, but there's actually 40 total. So there's 39 planets in addition to Earth. Every one of those 39 planets have different civilizations. They trade with one another. They trade technology. They trade farming. What they call gas giants are thriving planets with civilizations on them. Since Venus is the closest to Earth, they have tried to make us think, oh, it's way too hot for anybody to live on Venus, which is nonsense. There's a civilization up on Venus, and apparently they visited us several times. If you've read any of the Adamski books, they look like just,
They look like what?
Us.
Yeah, like us, right?
Pentavirus?
Yeah.
That seems really crazy.
And ticks. Watch that thing.
The tick thing is nuts.
Yeah.
Especially
because of meat, because of Gates.
Well, there's
Bill
boxes
Gates, not
people
Matt.
are finding. I don't know if this is true because I've seen many reports on it, but I'm just going to say what I saw, that farmers and ranchers are finding boxes of ticks on their property. Now, I don't know if that's fake. I don't know if someone's setting that up to pretend they found these boxes of ticks, but there's videos of these people finding boxes of ticks.
Now, what they'll say is they'll probably say they're sterile ticks and that we're planting them out there so we can diminish the population, is what they'll say. But anytime they try to mess with the balance of nature, it never goes right.
Is that what they're saying?
Just get ready. That's what you're getting it right here.
I don't believe you have a right to go to someone's property and drop off sterile ticks.
No way in hell.
That's crazy either way. But I have a good friend of mine who...
I mean, do you believe in... I mean, it's like you don't know what is real and what's not no more, right? There can be just somebody that's saying, you know what? Make a video and go viral. I'm going to put a box, put some crickets in there and say they're ticks, right? Crickets, I feed my lizard every day. I'm just going to throw them in there and I'm going to say they're ticks. And then it ends up on Joe Rogan's podcast and it goes out to millions of people. And next thing you know, the right's using it against the left's using it against the right. Like you just never know anymore what's real and what's not real, right? That's why when you guys watch these videos, I'm going to speak for myself. For me, you guys just got to realize this is for entertainment purposes only, right? This is my first time watching it with you guys. I give you guys my honest opinion, what comes to mind when I first see these videos. But just remember, y'all, this is just for entertainment.
Dinosaurs, I see. Is that a dinosaur? No, it's a rhinoceros.
It's a rhinoceros,
Yeah.
but it's the closest thing still living to a dinosaur.
I think that there were giant animals, not to get off track, but they lived with men, and not that long ago. So again,
I think so too.
It couldn't have been that long ago because according to the Bible, we're only 6,000 years old.
I think it could be younger. We don't know.
So when you look at like all the, scientific dating, carbon dating, things
Nonsense.
like that. Well, it says it's millions of years old.
Millions and billions. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can look through the strata that says this is a million years, this is a billion years, but then there's a tree growing up through the whole thing, fossilized, going through the whole thing. Biology is a lie. History is a lie told by the victors, and where we live is a lie told by the controllers.
You think the elite are satanic?
I think so.
Well,
It appears to be. And the
What other
heliocentric
purpose would they have?
The heliocentric model is a satanic model. If you look at all the math, there's all 666s in there. I don't know what that means, but there's too many. There's dozens and dozens of them. The Earth curves at 6.666 feet per mile. Is that right? Yeah. 8 inches per mile squared. So there's just all of the measurements. We're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour. There's just too many.
Well, again, I mean, that's just, to me, that's hard to believe.
Like the alien was alive in this bed right here.
Deitado aqui.
So he saw the
Coberto
creature
aqui.
right
Saw
here.
the
creature right there.
Coberto
was right there.
While he was
Coberto
watching
até
the
aqui, ó.
video of the surgery.
Coberto até aqui. His eyes, they were like a teardrops, red, much redder, especially right here, And he was, partially covered. He was right here, But he was still alive.
He looked at in the eyes of the creature.
Yes.
In this bed.
In this bed.
And what did the creature say to you? What?
I saw the red eyes. His face was white, his eyes were red, and he wasn't showing any suffering at all now.
If there was perhaps a possible telepathic communication.
Yes, right there, you see. As if to say, something like, I'm perfectly fine, I've been well looked after.
He said, yes, for sure, a communication as someone would say, yes, I am okay, I've received care. That's what he felt from the expression of the being.
Fala sem falar.
To speak without speaking. It spoke without speaking.
According to Dr. Itala, a being underwent a procedure by his colleague, fellow neurosurgeon Dr. Marcos Vinicio Neves, who died in 2018 of a heart attack.
Figures.
Someone cooked here.
I'm going to show y'all something. Where you gonna go? This shit barred down, top to bottom. Where you gonna go?
Really is like.
You know something funny? If you in the main facility all day, right? And then they want to let you get some fresh air, it's called a fucking rec yard. This is a big ass fucking rec yard. And understand, when I say it's barred down, I'm talking about all the way front to back. All the way front to back. You can't make this type of shit up with them guards and them exits. What is it gonna matter? What is it gonna matter how many exits they got? Space alone right here. Can sleep 4 to 5 people comfortably. This entire space. This is this space alone. That ain't this exhibit.
I mean,
in the rest of us people up top. That's crazy. It's an institution. This is at least 3 people comfortable. This is at minimum 3 people comfortable. That's just this one alone.
I mean, if you think about it,
It ain't coming down.
So when you,
I mean, if you really think about it, it is built that way. It is built that way. If it hits the fan, if they take over, whatever, right? With all this alien talk, we're gonna get more and more into this because they're putting out pictures of actual aliens, spacecraft. Like, why are we heading that way? We've been saying this forever, right? That about the WalMarts. But if you really walk into Walmart and look at it as everything empty and they put mattresses on, like it really is like a concentration camp prison type setup, right? With bunks everywhere and outdoor rec yard that's gated up. It really is.
see Lady Liberty in New York Harbor, realizing that the light that she is raising is the light of Lucifer, not the light of liberty. And if you want further proof of this, let me point out 2 things. Number 1, the Statue of Liberty was created by a Freemason in France, designed and built by a Freemason in France as a gift to the Freemasons of America. And not only that, if you look at the tablet that she holds in her hand, you know what's engraved on that tablet? Just 4 characters, 1776, the year the Illuminati was formed, not the year America was formed.
What is amazing, Mom?
Can you see this little pink girl here?
The pink girl?
No. You can't.
No, I can't see the pink girl. Is she Chinese or Oriental?
Chinese.
Pardon me?
Chinese or
Chinese?
party toiler. Parter.
They're having a party? What kind of, is it a birthday party with kids? Who's having the birthday party?
Oh, I don't know.
Crazy, y'all. Like your barriers, dimension barriers
What do
go
you think?
down.
There's one. Top all Taylor Doyle's.
Taylor's there?
Hmm?
Taylor's there?
Taylor.
Yeah, I thought you said Taylor.
You said you live.
I mean, we're all going there, right? That's the only thing that's promised in life is that, right? I don't want to say it, put it out there, but that's the only thing that and it's such a trip that, we've heard nurses, hospice nurses on the videos come out and say like a couple days before, they're gonna pass, they start seeing these things and they're good. They're okay, they're awake. Like her, right? She was she was coherent and her senses were all okay, but before they go, they start your barriers go down. Like they're here right now in your room right now. I believe there is beings coming and going. It's just our walls are up, our dimensions. But they say if you do enough of this stuff, if you do enough, drugs, if you don't sleep enough, you will start seeing these things. These barriers will start opening. So
left
crazy.
this realm. You literally
Yes,
went to another.
and I still do.
Can we break that down a little bit deeper? Like, because I want to understand, like, how can if I want to go to a spiritual journey. Like, if someone's listening to this and they want to be able to really get into that new realm and dive deeper, like, what's the process? How does one
Well,
get there?
I don't have a specific practice of meditation, but I know that when you sit in silence, that is meditation. When you turn your phone off, when you stop practicing escapism with vices, whether it's substance, whether it's tuning into social media or television or things that are not empowering you or adding to your life. Those are just distractions and escapism to run from something that you're not ready to face. So you face it is what I had to do.
There's no obese older people. Ain't nobody old, in fact. If you really pay attention to it, it's
really
no
isn't.
overweight 80-year-olds. They not walking around here. No, because they changed their diets. Right.
I believe that there's an alliance between Trump, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin. And I believe that the takedown now is of that age-old cult of Baal. I believe that cult is being taken down right now. So is Netanyahu going to come out at the back end of this rinse cycle? No, absolutely not. What is Israel in any event? Israel is a state of being. So there was never supposed to be a state of Israel. We're no longer in the embrace of satanic forces.
Where'd you just come from? I took the wrong way. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, these guys were laughing and recording in the Appalachian woods when they suddenly realized a woman was silently walking behind them. Nobody heard footsteps. Nobody saw where she came from. And the second she spoke, the entire mood changed.
No, we're not supposed to go that way.
No. Meet him?
No, we don't want to meet him.
I don't want to meet him.
How about not? I don't know.
That looks legit, y'all. That doesn't look like an act.
If you go the other way, you don't just go over the tree.
I don't know. It sounds like she's gargling water.
Guy asked, "Where did you come from?" But her voice sounded deeply wrong, slurred, shaky, almost like somebody pretending to know how humans talk. She said, "I got lost," but nobody believed her because every time she opened her mouth, she sounded less and less human. Then she kept repeating the same question. "Have you seen my other two people?" over and over, like she was stuck on the same line. And when she warned them not to go down a trail, she had literally just walked out of herself. You could hear the panic start setting in because by that point, they knew something was seriously wrong with her.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this simple because the shit is annoying as fuck. What he just displayed is not gravity, it's called buoyancy. If something is heavier than water, it sinks to the bottom of it. If something is lighter than water, it floats at the top. The same thing happens with air. If something is heavier than air, it drops to the bottom of the air till it hits something. And if something is lighter than air, it floats up. That could not happen if there was a force so powerful that it was also holding oceans to the bottom of a ball.
Are you
Really believe that we are breathing water? I really do. I am convinced, right? It's just a different, like they've showed these lakes under the ocean and it's just a different buoyancy of water, right? Like a fish does my beta in his fish tank see does he think he's underwater or does he think like us we're just in air, right? Like do they see what they're breathing? Water? You know, that's where I think that's my theory. That's one of my favorite theories. That and giants. I'm obsessed with giants on mountains, y'all.
Suggesting that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive.
Call me crazy
and he
for
said
that.
something along the lines to me of saying, "I'm suggesting that I'm looking at the reports and I'm very perplexed. It doesn't add up to me." But I'm starting to think about this because I'm like, all right, if they got him out, how did they do it? And it was around this point where Andy says to me, what if I told you that the prison, the official Bureau of Prisons layout of the units,
like the architecture?
The architecture, the official report that I have right here of the actual MCC or whatever it's called.
Like straight up blueprints?
Yes. And he opens it up to that page. What if I told you that it's wrong for one cell in particular?
No fucking way.
Big energy oil, you know, we get zero. I know it's a commodity and I'm going to get lit up that oil's a commodity and it, you know, the world market, but we get zero oil from Iran. Zero. We export oil right now. and yet the price is going through the roof. It's going through the roof because it can. They can. And I always say, well, how does that gasoline in the pumps go up? It's been they've already been processed, already been paid for. How does it go up exponentially just overnight, 20 cents a gallon or whatever? And how does that, and if that's because it's a commodity and Burchett, you don't understand, how come that quart of oil that you at the hardware store doesn't go up like that? Wouldn't it, it's processed oil, wouldn't it do the same? And of course, diesel, your first cut, I think, is kerosene.
Good point.
And then it's diesel. And I've got a diesel dually. I filled it up yesterday, is over $100. You know, it is the cheapest. It is the roughest cut. You know, that's why you have these incredible filters, because it's dirty. And gasoline is the third or fourth cut, and it ought to be the most expensive, but it's not. I just think it's a racket. And every time they'll hold the hearings, and they'll come down there, and you know, and the oil companies will, you know, they'll shake that money tree. They know how to do it on both sides of the aisle.
You ever seen the video, a dude who took the baseball bat to the funeral and beat up the casket?
We had that on our
told
video
him
here.
not bury it. Told her you ass bury it because, bro, when you go to a funeral, they lower the casket down. They don't throw no dirt on top of the motherfucker.
One scoop.
You feel me? They wait till you to leave. They take you out that casket, put you in a piece of shit box. And then they bury you. This is the games they play. But everything is rigged, bro.
So you telling me basically like the cemetery is rigged up, basically. That's basically what you're saying. Because they getting you to spend all this money. You even got to buy like a 6,000
Have you ever
thing
seen
to
a
put
new
on side of the
Yeah, where all the grass, where the new cemetery at, where all the bodies at, the same cemetery. Listen, we had the same cemetery in St. Louis, and motor rate keeps going up.
Have you ever seen them build a new cemetery?
I've never seen it.
I did. Only one who did that was Trump. It made to his backyard.
Yeah, he buried his wife.
He buried his wife back there
in his backyard.
Yeah.
Trump buried his wife in his backyard.
Oh, gee.
For a tax write-off.
That's
kind of cold-blooded, right?
Keep that land, because nobody never take it from him. It's a cemetery plot.
Facts.
It's his forever.
They pulling so many schemes out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Mexico City is sinking. So this church and this palace, National Palace, are built on top of the ruins of the Aztec temple, which is in that corner. The ruins are right over there. So it's kind of karmic, though. You can see that it slants down. It's not a straight line. It's slanting down towards that corner. Same thing with the palace. It starts slanting down towards that corner. So kind of karmic that these Spanish architects that were put on top of our Aztec history are kind of sinking towards that direction of the temple. I don't know. It's karmic, right?
One of the people I talked to who wouldn't go on camera, he was a special forces guy who had been involved in a UAP event. When we test missiles, we shoot them out into the ocean, they drop into the ocean, and then we send special forces teams to go recover them, usually like Navy SEALs. So that's just like a thing we do. And so one of these tests happened and the recovery was happening, and this guy was in the water, and then apparently a giant UAP came out of the ocean, saucer UFO, and it was just there. They look up, they're freaking out. People in the chopper are freaking out. Apparently this thing just took the missile somehow. Like they described it as like a magnet almost, like it just took it.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then it took off.
And these guys were just swimming in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But apparently that kind of thing has happened before. It's not like an isolated incident.
Big head and big black eyes, and was dressed in a black bodysuit. One was running in the trees, and the other one was running across the ship, because there were also trees here.
Mm-hmm. The eyes were like more pointed as they came in toward the center of the head. Is that?
Was your
No,
teardrop?
more silkier, and this was all black.
All black. Now you've made pupils. Do they actually have pupils or
Like
black?
white.
What?
The pupils were white like that.
You saw white in the center.
Yes, like that.
Mm-hmm. Was he near the silver object, or was he far from
No, on top.
On top of the silver object. Okay. Did you look at him?
Yes.
Did he look at you?
Yes, then he gave me the creeps, then I stopped
Gave you
looking
the
at
creeps.
Then he was looking at me back. I couldn't just keep on looking at him, so I had to stop and I looked sideways, so he couldn't keep on making me feel faint.
You see the eyes? What did they look like?
They were going like that.
Where was the pointy part? Was the pointy part in here, or was the pointy part out there? Up there.
They were just like looking at all of us. They seemed to have stiff necks. They didn't seem to move their necks like we can.
By account, there were actually 3 beings. And the most peculiar thing was the way in which it moved, because it almost felt as if it would disappear and appear a few meters ahead of itself.
How is it different from imagination or dream as you experienced it?
Well, it's definitely reality. And anybody can think that it's not true or that we're making things up, but we know what we've seen and we believe it.
You only have a third of the oxygen that's at sea level up there. So like everything is slow motion. Like even just tying your shoes, you have to think about it. Like you essentially have like the brain of a 8-year-old essentially, because your body's dying. So what happens is when your body's dying. Yeah, the human body is not made to survive at that altitude. If I were to take you right now in a helicopter and drop you off on the summit of Everest, said hang out here, be back in an hour, you'd be dead by the time I got back.
Shut up.
Cerebral edema, your brain would swell. Pulmonary edema, your lungs would fill with water, and then you would just die.
Why didn't you die?
Because you trained. The reason why, it only takes 5 days to climb Everest from the base camp to the summit, right? And
you said it takes 2 years.
It takes 2 months. It takes 2 months. But the reason why it takes 2 months is that you're acclimating to that altitude. So what's happening is when you show up at base camp, 17,700 feet, then you go up to 20,000. You bring some loads up, you drop some tents off, some sleeping bags, then you come back down.
Got it.
And the next 2 days later, you rest, and 2 days later, you go up to 21,000 feet. Then you come back down. When you go to 23,000 feet and you come back down, and you're going back and forth, and what's happening is your body's producing red blood cells. And those red blood cells is what you need to stay at that altitude. And so it's like your Lance Armstrongs, all your Tour de France guys are all blood doping, right?
Right.
And what they're doing is they're taking a drug that increases their red blood cells.
So did you ever do that?
No, never did that ever. I wish actually, because it would have made it a lot easier.
You know, there was a clip I put out from the news. It was like Good Morning America or something, saying that these, not tour guides, but like these guides on Mount Everest were connected with doctors. They had they busted like 200 or 300 people that were all connected, and they were putting things in their oxygen tanks to make them like pass out, to make them lightheaded. Like it was a whole on scam that they were running. Like I wonder if that is a lot to do with what this guy is saying, how like you can't think straight when you're up there because of the oxygen they're bringing. Like these guides it's a business, y'all, where there's money, there's scams, right? And they were scamming these hikers that hired these these showmen, these guides, to take them up there, and these guides were pretty much poisoning them so they can make money with the doctors and all that.
Did you all see this video going around of Dana White? This video is very strange when you actually look at the background and see what is behind him in this video. Again, this is some very bizarre stuff. And one has to wonder, why would stuff like this be in the background? But I guess there is nothing to see here. I guess this is just art, right? Especially the image on the right side of your screen, with the butterflies. If you know, you know. All you have to do is look, and you will see things for what they truly are every single time. But again, this is just art, right? Even the image on the left side of your screen is very bizarre. And again, one has to wonder why this stuff is behind him. One has to wonder this. Again, This is just some strange stuff. What do you think about this?
Okay.
And I know you're part of the 33 Club.
I am not part of the 33 Club, but I am really good friends with someone who is.
Got it.
Club 33, though, is very exclusive, and you can't just walk in there. You can't just walk in there. It requires a membership. It requires people, a waiting list to get on. There's a whole process just to be able to go in there.
The reason I brought it up is because the dining experience there is crazy. But have you had the chef's table?
The chef's table? No. Haven't had the chef's table.
Can we please explain to
You're
you what the
gonna
chef
be so excited.
My friend calls me up. So two times I've been to Disneyland that was like really amazing. It was one I went with a Disney star. So they go and they give you that treatment. And in my mind, I go, this is the best you could get at Disneyland. There's no way they're going to treat you better than this. Well, I have a freak friend named AJ, and he has nothing to do with Disney, and he's not in the industry at all. But my God, this man will hunt for like the best deals, the best coupons, the best situations. So he's sitting there and he calls me. He goes, "We just got the chef's table." And I was like, "All right, I'll like split this with you." He goes, "It's $2,500." And I go, "I'm sorry, what?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's $2,500." But he goes, "I'm telling you, bro, like you're gonna love this. It's gonna come with this room and this and this." I'm like, "All right, it's an experience. I like experiences, especially dinners. I love to do this. Let's try it."
And mind you, for this reservation, to get the reservation, you have to wait for a certain call that happens like once a year, and you have to call at midnight to get and there's only like one that you can get or two you can get. You have to be that.
Key and Peele. So everybody knows Key and Peele, right? Dynamic duo that came from Mad TV and then went on to do their own show on Comedy Central. After that, did anybody notice anything funny?
They stopped working.
They stopped working. Peele goes on to do all the great movies. Get Out, Us, you name it, right? Goes on to be the next Rod Serling.
Rod Serling, yeah.
Right?
He's the new Rod Serling.
He still working, still doing his thing. Here and there, he's doing commercials and stuff.
Chicken commercials.
Yeah.
Chicken
commercials.
Fuck.
He's still doing his thing, but not to the extent
Still
of
doing his thing.
So then there is a comedian by the name of Akilah Hughes. Have you ever heard of her? That's on purpose. So she says in her new stand-up that she was working with Key. They had a show that was greenlit. Then they were about to do it a couple years later. You know, development takes a while. 2022 comes around. They're about to shoot the pilot. Key's wife comes in and says, "Hey, I got some ideas. We want to do X, Y, and Z." "Oh, okay. All right. Well, whatever. Let's keep doing what we're doing." Wife doesn't like that.
And she's supposed to be the executive producer on the show, right?
Right. All of a sudden, she's on the show.
All of a sudden.
Weird.
Yeah.
Then, right before they're about to shoot the pilot, the wife goes around and sues the company. Show gets canceled.
This was right during COVID, like right when they were about to shut everything down anyway. That show was going to be, it still had a chance to get greenlit, but that whole thing, her suing it, he just canned it.
Here's what the wife looks like. Can anybody tell me why he's with her?
Bullbuck Buchanan.
Bullbuck Buchanan is...
Who is that?
You're naming a wrestler.
Maybe the head game is crazy.
Either way, we are talking about millions of dollars. Now, Akilah, this is what else she says. She gets a call from Peele's wife. "I heard you're doing a show with X, Y, and Z. I wish I could have warned you sooner. And the fact that you're working with them, that's not a good look because it's going to be disastrous." She thinks nothing of it. She's like, "Oh, maybe she's just being cautious and throw that to the wayside and keep it moving." Fast forward, all that shit happens. Now, here's the theory. What is Peele's, one of his acclaim to fame, crazy movies? Get Out.
Oh, no.
Is Get Out about Key and his wife controlling him, his mind?
Oh. She gives Handler vibes. She gives
talking
Handler
about
vibes.
a white girl with a black guy, and even Peele's wife says to Akilah, says, "You don't know how much money she cost that black man."
Whoa, that black man. Yeah.
Yes. And this is a white woman saying this.
Yeah, because I know they both got white girls.
They both got white girls.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Aren't they
mixed?
They're mixed, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're both mixed.
Yeah. Damn, somebody said headmaster.
Headmaster's crazy. I think she's a witch.
She looks like a witch.
She gives witch vibes. Have you ever seen an interview with her? It's always in the eyes. You can always tell in the eyes. Like it's a soulless vibe that somebody has. I was about to say something crazy.
Thinking 20, y'all.
Let's run it.
Yeah, I was invited to do what I thought was a talk to like bankers or something at a resort. And instead of me going out on stage to do a talk, they brought these 5 guys into the green room. who started peppering me with all these questions about the digital future, like Bitcoin or Ethereum and augmented reality or virtual reality. I figured it was one of these things where it's just these 5 billionaires looking for, investment strategies from someone who's on the ground in the cyber revolution. And eventually they got around to the question of, Alaska or New Zealand. Right. So they wanted to know mainly how to prepare for the inevitable collapse of society. And the question we spent most of the time on was, how do I maintain control of my security force after the event? Because their money's going to be worthless and these guys will turn on them. And it just struck me that here are the wealthiest and most powerful men I've ever encountered, yet they feel utterly powerful.
So if the Earth is flat, that means on there's an ice wall.
So the ice wall is a little bit of a psyop. Everyone knows the ice wall from the Game of Thrones, right? The little guy. Well, a lot of people they make it look like a wall at the end of the earth. That's not the case, right? My tea here. You couldn't give this to me without a container. The cup.
Right.
Without the container, it needs to be contained. So liquids need to be contained.
Right.
So large bodies of water need to be contained. So if you had a lake, what's the container for the lake? The land that's higher than the water.
Right.
And if you lowered that land below the height of the water,
it's going to spill.
Water's going to flow away.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at all the continents of the world and take their average elevation and we rank them, Antarctica is number 1, and it's over twice as high as number 2. Mm-hmm. So Antarctica isn't an island, a continent at the bottom of the ball. Antarctica is the shoreline that goes all the way around our world pond. Think of all the oceans as a giant pond and all the continents as islands within it. Antarctica is the shoreline that holds our water in. The question is, what's past the shoreline of Antarctica?
High schools are a hammer, and that is because they are all designed to funnel kids into student loan debt. Their entire goal is to funnel your child into a degree program, into a school, because the way that they calculate their success metrics is based on how many kids they get admitted to college, not how many have the life outcome that they want from their life. And that's why we exist. Degree Free exists to help families make these decisions in the right order with the right information. When they make decisions about what their child's going to do after high school, because families make these decisions together, when they make them without the right information, they make expensive mistakes that take years of time, they cost a ton of energy, and they waste a lot of money.
It really is built for you to go to that next level and get in a bunch of debt and live a life of middle class, pretty much, for the majority, right? There's those that, engineers, doctors, whatever, but the majority go to the middle class route, y'all. And I just look at it as, I never enjoyed school from kindergarten till senior year. I hated school. I didn't fit in with nobody. I bounced around cliques in high school. Sometimes I was hanging out with the jocks because a good friend of mine was a football player. So I would sit at the table with them. I never fit in. I would hang out with when I was going through my depression and all that, I was with the stoners. Like I just didn't fit in, y'all. I didn't fit in. And I just think back like, man, if I would have fit in, if I would have went to all the school dances, I never went to a school dance. If I would have, not even in middle school, y'all, if I would have went to the school dances, if I would have had girls like, sending me things like anonymous suckers on Valentine's Day, if I would have had, all the friends, if I would have played sports and I enjoyed school, I would have went that route. I would have went that route of, probably to college because I loved high school. I loved school. And I probably would have, been middle class and a bunch of debt. But the fact that I hated school, I was broke for a very long time, but it worked out. So, I just feel like school really is built to make you go to that next level of college, get your, and that's what all their statistics, like she said, like, they grade the teachers in the schools off, the grade average, the graduation rate, the going to college rate. Like that's how they get their brownie points. That's how they get their, recognition of a good school. I never liked school, y'all. And these are the people they put at the top. worship this dude, man. I used to listen to his music all the time.
Everybody eat everything. Everybody eat pig. Everybody eat pork. But you know pork can't look up? Did you know that? Did you know a pig couldn't look up? No. A pig eyes are just like human eyes. The only problem is they stuck like this. And Jesus, listen, I'm gonna say this. A lot of people remember the Bible. They remember the story of Jesus. This is what we're talking about the Christians. Jesus put the evil spirit inside the pig. But people don't understand why, right? That's the low belly animal, meaning they don't have no power to look up. Right? A lot of people don't know this game. Yeah. Right? I'm just keeping it real, man. It ain't really what you want to talk about, because I don't want to talk about religion. Right? No. So talk about something that makes sense.
Well, right now, what makes sense what's going on in the news today, man. I want to talk about what's going on current. Some people don't understand that we moved into a different new world order. And
what you talking about?
We moved into a different where money is gone.
Money always been gone. It's never been no. We talk about money already, but money don't make a difference because people don't understand about money. The person that understood about money was Epstein. Right? Listen, Epstein understood about money. He talked to banks about money.
I would love to hear you disprove evolution. If evolution is true, you go through a progressive evolution of these organisms evolving into an increasingly more being-like creature. The problem is there's zero evidence of that. You have these single-celled organisms and multi-celled organisms, and then there's just a giant gap in the fossil record. And you have animals, and then you have man. We don't have a fossil record that takes us from single and multi-celled organisms into an entire species, and we just simply ignore that. This ecosystem is so intelligent in the scientific evidence, it could not have been put together by accident.
I think they know. They know. If they can go back millions of years and then, like, let's just say hundreds and thousands of years, there's nothing, they know. That hundreds and thousands of years is what might be coming out, with all this UFO stuff that they say is going to, bash religion. It's going to do something crazy to make the people go crazy. Maybe that's what's right there in that $100,000, in that 100,000 blank space of just dirt.
Each other happy birthday, happy anniversary is a ritual satanic rite. We're literally repeating the idea of entropy in our blood. So every time we calculate years on a Gregorian satanic calendar and look at the clock and see it ticking and oh my God, we're running out of time. I'm 1 year older, one closer to the grave. If we believe that sufficiently at the collective level, that becomes the manifest reality. That is quantum science, and we understand enough about quantum mathematics apparently to realize that we should move beyond programming death into our DNA by celebrating birthdays.
How it was told to me, the universe is teeming with life, okay? Teeming, not just like, hey, we might find a little bit over here and there. Teeming. You have intelligences at all different levels on different planets. You have organic intelligence, which is like human beings, lots of humans, super advanced humans, superhumans with telepathic powers, and some humans that are just like us, some humans that are cavemen. You also have inorganic beings. You have beings that are on rock planets and gas planets that oxygen's poisonous to them, right? You also have weird bands of light that are alive, that swim like worms in the vacuum of space, the way a whale does in an ocean, okay? And you have amoebas that are floating around sucking up energy. Those amoebas could be as big as Jupiter, or they could be like a Volkswagen. It's like it's teeming with life.
I don't have a whole lot of time. Former employee. I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They'll triangulate on this position really, really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art. They want the major population centers wiped out.
They do.
So that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
They do.
That's what I say, y'all. The ones that are going to survive, all these billionaires that are getting their bunkers, they're probably some of them. I'm not going to say all of them are going to survive because they got a sneak peek behind the curtain. But all these regular Joe schmoes that are building underground bunkers, they're not going to last, y'all. They're not going to last. But the ones that are going to last are these people that don't even know what the heck is going on out there. Never heard of a cell phone, never heard of a vehicle. They're on Sentinel Island. Those are the people that are going to survive because they're already surviving. They've been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years. We're not. We're so used to technology. We're used to having Google Maps. We're used to a stove cooking our food. We're not going to survive. And they don't want us to survive because if we do survive, we're not going to let them control us because we know the game. But all these Sentinel Island people that are living off the land, they're easy to control, y'all. Right? They see a freaking boat pull by and they think it's God. You know what I mean? Like that's how they always survive. They just keep going and going, y'all. We're done.
100%.
Why?
100%.
I don't know.
Because, all right, from my perspective now, you got Governor Newsom, the governor of California. Whoever is telling him to do this, somebody's telling him, and they're telling him to do it. You have the Secretary of CDCR, who right now is currently Jeff McCumber. The governor will tell the secretary, this is what I want carried out in all your prisons, right? If he's spineless, if he's a brown noser, a company man, a yes man, a politically driven, then he's going to, without any questions, tell his people beneath him, the associate directors and the wardens, hey, this is what I want carried out, carry it out. Even though it's illegal, even though it's getting people killed, getting people hurt, and everybody on the ground knows this is wrong. This is going to end tragically. But when you got the top pushing it, the wardens don't care. They don't get in trouble. They're immune. For the last 2 years, I've been airing out on YouTube how immune they are. Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility. Less than 6 months ago, you had 2 inmates that are documented enemies housed on that same yard that Suge Knight's on at Donovan. Documented enemies, which means there's paperwork saying these guys should not be anywhere near each other. They put them on the yard. Guess what happened? I mean, I have video of the dude getting his throat slit and his stomach slit and bleeding out in the day room.
Let me tell you this. Did you know that there was certain entities that's here that don't have physical bodies and they can get inside you depending on how you feel?
Pause.
And then, no, I'm keeping it real. They go right inside your body. You start feeling some type of way, they go inside your body. They're controlling your mouth. They're controlling everything inside your body and you don't even know it because they have no physical body.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of
video.
times, like people who walk in the light, they'll come across people who just get angry at them for no reason. Boy, that's because that person is possessed by one of these disembodied spirits that's walking around out here, bro.
Right.
I just seen the devil. I'll tell niggas that for sure.
I knew.
In all the years I've been teaching college, there's one time in my class where I'm like, he's a school there he is. This kid would be 6 o'clock news 100%.
How did you pick that out?
He had mental health issues. He kept disrupting the class. He'd turn around and if another student was talking, he would stare at them very intently. And he was very aggressive. And then finally I said, I couldn't teach. I said, the dean would like to speak to you. And I reached out to the dean. I said, this kid has to go home from my class. So I remember when I told the kid, I'm like, dean would like to speak to you. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I was like, I'd like to see you before you come to class. He's like, I'm gonna go to class, so I'm gonna sit in class. So he goes in and he sits down and I'm thinking, this is a problem. So I call public safety and I'm like, I need you to get this kid and remove him from my class. They're like, yep, we're coming up. As they come up, they're like, all right, we're gonna go in. I'm like, whoa, my students are in there. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go pull him out. I'm like, you're not gonna go pull him out because this is how you're gonna have a mass shooting. because you're going to embarrass him in front of everybody, and this is going to go south. He's got issues. So I remember I ended class early that day. I said, guys, we're going to end class early today. Everybody go home. Here's your assignment. Class ends early because when I asked him to leave, it was during break. So he starts to pick up his stuff, and I'm like, now you go in and you get it. And I'm like, you don't do this in front of other people. You have to preserve people's dignity.
For people who don't remember, George Bush
True,
was
yeah, that would have been a trigger right there.
And his vice
Everyone
president
laughing.
was Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, before he became vice president of the United States, was CEO of a company called Halliburton, which is a huge multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company that provides mostly oil services to oil companies. And when the United States went into Iraq and took it over, Halliburton got a few multi-billion-dollar contracts with the federal government that they didn't even compete for. It was a no-bid contract, they called it. Now, this should not happen because the way the government procurement system is set up, it's set up to be a competition of who can give the lowest price to the government. But they just ended up giving it to Halliburton without any competition, and that created a big scandal.
Yeah, but I have seen some pictures, and I have seen video, and I have.
What's the most convincing thing that you've seen?
I don't know. Those guys came out the house. That was pretty convincing. That was before the hearings that we had.
How clear was the video?
Clear as a screen. I mean, it was pretty clear. And that was pre-AI. AI was such a new thing, and then it fit in with what the Tic Tac videos were, and the heat signature is what I always thought was unusual, because it had to have a heat signature, but it didn't.
Right.
It's a 0 point energy, whatever that is.
Right.
And then the quantum physics angle of it is mind-blowing to me. I don't think Trump knows. I mean, these people have kept this stuff secret. Here's another thing. I was in one meeting, and a guy said, what about the president on this? And he said, the president's on a need-to-know basis. Now, that's a federal employee saying that he or she has information that the president is not allowed to see. And I just was aghast, man. I said, that's the kind of crap you see on the Sci-Fi Network or something.
Right.
But that'd be the title of my book. I mean, that ought to tell you right there that this thing is a cover up. And it's kind of like MK Ultra. I don't think we're going to get they're not going to tell us everything. I really don't. I don't think they're going to give us half of what we should get.
But you think we're going to get something?
I think we'll get something.
Do you know Hal Puthoff? Do you know Hal Puthoff?
Do what?
Do you know Hal Puthoff?
No, I don't.
Do you know who he is?
I thought you knew how put off you are right
now.
No. I was like, how put off are you?
Hal Puthoff was in the documentary as well. He was in the Age of Disclosure, and he was a guest on the podcast. And one of the things that he told me is that during the Bush administration, they brought in him and a bunch of other scientists and thought leaders, and what was explained to him was that they are considering disclosure, and that there have been visits of these super intelligent beings from somewhere else, that we have retrieved crashed vehicles, and that we have biological remains.
That's correct.
And we are talking about disclosing. We would like you to make a list of all the ways that it'll negatively affect society and all the ways that it'll positively affect society, and attach a numerical value to these things. And they all did it, and every one of them said the negatives far outweigh the positives in terms of the impact on government, the impact on the economy, religion, all these different factors, and how it would disrupt society. And in the end, they decided not to disclose.
Yeah, I've heard that many times. I just don't buy it.
You don't buy it?
I don't buy it. I mean, I don't doubt what he's saying. I know all those guys. Now that you mentioned it, I was in the movie, of course, and I've met them all afterwards. But I just don't buy that. I think we should know. Let us know. Let us decide.
No, I believe that too, but I wonder what that meeting was like, and whether or not they were being truthful to these people, or whether it was a thought experiment.
Allegedly, when they told Jimmy Carter, he cried.
That's what I heard too.
It was. I won't go into all of it, but I was in a meeting.
What would make him cry?
I don't know. He's a very sensitive guy. But
I understand, but I mean, like,
he was also,
I cried when I saw Old Yeller.
Yeah, I did too. Still cry. But they, he had seen a UFO. He was on a Navy sub, nuclear sub, and I don't know if he saw that when he was on the sub or not. I can't remember. But here he is. That guy was president of the United States, and they told
him something, and supposedly he cried.
And I was in the meeting, and that was brought up, and the guy that they were trying to trip up gave the date of that meeting, and he said, you can go to the Carter Library and pull up that date, and you'll know there's one person, they omitted their name, which who knows who that was, but they list the meeting and where he was when he got that briefing.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know if that's true or not. You know, they also say Nixon pulled up one night to Jackie Gleason's and took
I
him
know
out.
that story.
Yeah.
In all of the Epstein files, what is the craziest email that you feel like everybody missed?
The most interesting email is this connection of the House of Rothschild to Jeffrey Epstein. Edmond de Rothschild, at the time, was facing a problem with the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice was alleging that Edmond de Rothschild, the bank in Switzerland, was helping wealthy Americans dodge taxes. So what they decide is that they'll pay a fine. Now, to negotiate that settlement, they hire two individuals, Kathy Rumler and Jeffrey Epstein. He says, I think you will find 45.5 penalty, that's 45.5 million. Legal, 10 million for
To
legal
Kathy.
fees to Kathy. Me, 25. All less than 80, pretty good. They paid 45.5 million to the Department of Justice. Epstein was paid 25 million to broker that deal. Kathy and her team paid some $10 million. The reason why this what puts it all together for me is you have the Rothschilds, the American Justice Department. Who do you hire? There are 10 law firms which you hire. You don't hire Jeffrey Epstein unless you're hiring him for a reason.
Where on Earth is the highest concentration of extraterrestrial evidence or life and UFOs? Is Area 51 the place for this?
In terms of the evidence, no, the Area 51 is nowhere near as important as the Lockheed Skunk Works facilities and the remote sites out in the desert, the Dugway Proving Grounds. There's half a dozen places more important than Area 51. It's an old area, old facility, but the state-of-the-art ones are not there. There are some key places north of there in what was called the Nevada Test Range, where we detonated the hydrogen bombs when we were testing, atmospheric testing. And we know where those places are, and we know what's kept there and what's operational. The same thing with the areas that are out in the high desert, in the Mojave Desert, out near Edwards Air Force, what we call the Edwards Complex, which is in our map, and a description of all of these facilities are in our archive.
There was no virus on no damn cruise, and I can prove it to you in 3 minutes. First of all, you're telling me that two crazy psycho things happened at the exact same time on cruise ships, and one of them just happened to be involved with the biggest company in the entire universe? No. Then how are y'all even going to believe that one person on the whole cruise ship, you know how big a cruise ship is and how many people they have on it? Look it up. And you think the only person was some dude alone in his room? He was the only one to post a video on social media crying saying he wanted to get home? Leads me to number 3. You're telling me that they just eventually let these people dock and didn't quarantine them and just let them go free? To jump on a plane, travel, car, go home, walk around in the universe? Not knowing if this is spreading from person to person or if it was just a crazy thing that 3 people got it? No. So first of all, the virus, you can't even, it don't even make sense from the start because it can't be transferred to people. Well, then they said there was 3, so then they had to backtrack and change their lie. If it don't make sense, it ain't true. Okay? There's no way that's true. So, if you believe that it is true, we can't be friends no more because that is a crazy shit. That's why you can't believe nothing on the media, nothing on the news. That's why I don't watch the news, because at the end of the day, I just pick the news report that I like, that believes in what I believe in and tells me what I want to hear. That is crazy. That never happened. You can't convince me that it happened. I don't care what you say. I don't care what facts you say. I don't care. There's no possible way that virus was on that cruise ship and that happened at Disney at the same exact time. You'll never convince me otherwise. Don't care. I love a good conspiracy theorist. And this never happened.
That Tupac faked his own death. So to stymie that as a journalist, as an author, I have the proof from that. And so that was the thinking. It was a big decision whether we did that or not. We almost didn't do it, and then we did.
And what feedback have you gotten over the years about it, the good and the bad?
Oh, I've gotten, people tell me I stole it, really, and how could I have done that? You think I could just walk into the coroner's office and go to a desk, or walk into the coroner's, autopsy room?
Especially with a famous murder like that, it's much more.
Yeah, exactly.
More
So
nuanced,
yeah, so I mean, I was shocked when I got it, and you know, the person said, "Here it is." Here, you know, and I don't know what the motive was behind the person. I didn't ask any questions, and you know, a dog didn't give it to me. A human being gave it to me. I don't give the gender, and you know, lots of people have guessed, and I've been asked, and people say, you know, now I know it was this, and I just don't respond. I don't give it away.
Right.
If the person who gave it to me dies, I thought about that.
I ate gummies in Colorado, and this demon tried to convince me to murder my friend's dog. And I'm like, I love dogs, and I'm not like in a murderous rage, and like what is this? But it was hyper intellectual, and it would speak quicker than my mind could process, which let me know it was a third party. But I didn't realize that just yet. And so I got through that night, and I was just like, man, thank God, like whatever that was, like, wow. That's when I started to realize these things are real.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't me. There's something, it kept telling me on the fire department, all the autopsies you did in medical school. I'm
like, you're hearing that.
Yeah, it's talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm the sum total of all the training you have, because they trained us how to do horrible things. I've been doing martial arts most of my life. Like, you know, like I'm every evil piece of you in one. And I could see like in my diaphragm, there was like sitting on like my diaphragm, there was this little like bag, kind of like a loot sack in a pirate movie, but it was black tar. And it was glowing and speaking. I was just like, what the heck is this? And that went away, and I was just terrified to do weed again. But it had been 2 or 3 years, my 30th birthday, 39 now. And so it's about 10 years ago. And I'm like, it's been a couple years. I'm probably good. I've been seeking the Lord more. You know, you think you're seeking the Lord, but you're really, you're so far behind.
You notice that there are stores that are open in your city or your town, and you never see anybody in them. How do they stay open? Like, you never see anybody in them. It's like they're open just like this is part of a map of a game or something like that, but you don't never see any activity. Or you see a place that's in a storefront that you know is way too expensive for what they got going on, but yet they're still open. I don't understand that. Like, it feels like this is just orchestrated. Like, it's there for me to just render while I walk past it, but it serves no real purpose. There's no real commerce. It doesn't add up. Like, you can go and look at the rent, and the rent is worth way more than whatever they could ever take in, but yet they're still open. Am I the only one that's noticing that, or am I tripping? Am I tripping right now? Because I think that I'm noticing these things more and more, and they just don't add up. They just don't make sense, especially where they're at. You can look and be like, just the real estate value of it, it's like, you're not making that much money to be open. And the products in there are useless. Am I the only one? Am I tripping? Let me know.
We all got those stores in our community, right? Like I was just watching the Amazon documentary called The Last Narc, right? And he was talking about, you know, how they operated, like the cartel operated in America out of a little like taco shop, right? Little hole in the wall taco spot that nobody knows about. They just go in there, have Mother's Day dinner, right? But that's all going on in the back rooms back there. Like that might be what's going on. We all know about the mattress stores, but there is crazy stores out here where I'm at, like a carpet store, right? Like a lamps where they sell lamps. You know, out here in El Paso where I'm at, they have a lot of old school stores that don't exist no more in Goodyear. They just don't exist no more. They used to, but they don't no more. And who knows? You know, we're so close to the border and whatnot. But we'll save that for another video. Y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. You made it this far. Leave a thumbs up. Y'all, appreciate the love. We went back to the green screen, y'all. Went back to the green screen. I've always noticed this. Like all my OG watchers here, I've gone green screen, I've gone to my background. I've come back to green screen, I've gone back to the background. Like I love creating my own background and putting things in the back. But I just notice when I do that, my views, they drop, right? They drop. Like when I had this green screen the last time, like I was banging out 70, 60, 50. A bad video was like 48,000 views. Like now a good video was like 48,000 views. So I just noticed my views dropping. I don't know. I don't think you guys even noticed that. I don't know if the green screen just keeps you tuned in a little longer. That helps the algorithm. I don't know. I have no idea, y'all. But I do notice when I have this green screen, the views go up, the view duration goes, like everything just goes up. So, I'm gonna try. I'm sure I'll go back to my background because I always do, but I'm gonna try to rock with this, and we'll switch it up, change the movie posters here and there. Let me know, what movie you would like. I would like to put like maybe a Soylent Green. But any other movies you guys can think of, let me know down below, y'all, and maybe it'll pop up back here one day for you guys. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. This is Segovia. I'm signing down the man cave. I'm gonna see you guys on Wednesday on the next one. Later.